All right, guys, brand new 2024 ND3 Miata. This is the RF Club. Weighs around 2,450 pounds. Still has the same engine as the old ND2. It's a 2-liter inline-4, 181 horsepower, 151 foot-pounds. But the two big changes that Mazda made: retuned EPS with reduced friction and a revised Torsen LSD. And the retuned LSD actually locks up more on decel and locks up less on acceleration. The net effect should be more corner entry stability. So we're here at Road America, hosted by MAMA, which stands for Midwest Automotive Media Association, here for the 2024 Spring Rally. We're not pushing the cars too hard today on track. Let's go ahead and put into track mode here. Love how peppy this little engine is. The brakes, despite being pretty small, they work so well on this car because it's so light. Hard on the brakes here. Excellent transmission. The car is so eager to turn in. I absolutely love it. It feels more nimble than a BRZ or GR86. And that's saying something. Every time I lift off the throttle, I can feel the car want to rotate. It's a great feeling. We also have the Recaro seats on this car, and they're actually not as supportive as I was expecting. They're okay, but they could be a little bit narrower. And my helmet is actually touching the ceiling in this car. Steering feel is pretty dang good. It loads up more in the corners compared to the ND2. I really like that. There's more weight. I can feel how much load is going through these tires laterally a lot better than I could with the old car. Hopefully we'll get to do another lap with this car later in the day, but just a quick 3/4 of one lap with the ND3 Miata, and I'm very impressed. It feels more stable on corner entry now, but not in a sort of restrictive way. It still gives me, as the driver, a lot of options. I can lift off the throttle just a little bit to trim the line, even with the retuned LSD, that theoretically would increase understeer. That's actually not the case. At least on the first lap, the car feels super nimble and responsive to my inputs. Same with the steering. I really love what Mazda has done to increase the weighting of the steering. I drove an ND1 on track last year, and I felt that it really just lacked load up in the corners. This car, as tested, basically fully loaded, $41,000 with destination. That's a pretty penny to pay for a Miata. If it were my money, I would ditch the RF. I would go for a soft top Club with the Brembos, the BBS wheels, and the Recaro seats. All right, second lap in the ND3. It's been a few hours. The track has dried up. It's much stickier, grippier now. Let's see if my impression changes. I did hear that the clutch on this car is starting to feel the abuse from all the journalists driving this car today. Hopefully it'll last another few laps. still so much body roll in the corners. Even with the Bilstein dampers, this thing is a roly-poly car. LSD is doing its job beautifully. Some nice rotation on corner exit. Very stable into the corner. Very easy car to drive hard. Brakes are starting to feel it though. Even though this car has Brembos, they're rather small caliper and rotor setup, and the pads don't feel aggressive enough for hard track driving. I suspect with a pad and fluid upgrade, this would feel a lot better. It's not bad by any means, but could be improved. Oh, what a fun car. What a fun car. I was really starting to feel it more in that second lap, being warmed up to the track and to the car. This thing is just, it responds to your every minute input so well. It's so sensitive. Even lifting off the throttle 10% mid-corner causes the front to tuck in just that little bit more. It feels so one-to-one from input to output. The car just does exactly what you ask of it. As long as you're precise with your inputs, the car will respond, and that's what I love about the ND generation of Miata and all Miatas, but especially with this ND3. I think Mazda has really dialed in all the systems, the EPS, the LSD. I think the suspension could still be better. It could be stiffer. I mean, I get it, the soft suspension of this car from the factory, even with the Bilstein dampers, it gives the car a certain character, a sense of whimsicalness that some other cars in this segment might not have to the same degree. But I do think that offering a package with a truly track-tuned suspension that's much firmer in terms of the spring rates and damper rates, as well as thicker anti-roll bars, I really think that could go a long way. It would really bring this car up to my standard of what I would be looking for in a car like this. I think the car still is a great platform for modification, and that's definitely what I would do if I had an ND3. All right, guys, thank you all for watching. A shout out to Mama, a shout out to Mazda, and to Road America. See you in the next one.